Caroline for Fighting Pride. With me, I got Eddie Hearn. Eddie, this is probably one of the biggest shows you've done in the recent years.
Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, it's a massive fight for Anthony Joshua. A brilliant fight between two young, undefeated heavyweight world champions and a great undercard as well. So this is our fourth stadium fight in 11 months, Anthony's third. Incredible to see 78,000 people attending a fight once again, and great times for British boxing.
Would you say it might be his hardest fight?
I would. I mean, I think Klitschko, if you ask me, does Klitschko beat Joseph Parker? My answer is yes. But styles make fights, and I think Joseph has a lot of attributes that are difficult for Anthony. He's very fast, he has good foot movement, he can punch, I think he's very durable, yeah, I believe he has a great chin. But Anthony just looks brilliant in this fight. I think he's leaner coming in, he's got that edge about him, and I think he's going to be a great performance.
In the Takam fight, he gassed out in the later rounds, and he was too heavy. I had the impression he was too heavy. Is that the reason that he comes in leaner right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of people talk about this gassing out, and we've done the analysis, and when you look at heavyweights, they're throwing 20, 30 punches around. And Anthony, in the fifth round against Klitschko, threw about 70 punches. So he's not superhuman. If he has a period over 3 minutes where he's going to get tired. But of course, when he's carrying more muscle than normal, he's going to get tired quicker. And sometimes he looks a bit more tired than he is. Like if you look at the Klitschko fight, he knocked him out in the 11th round. I know he got his second win, but if he was gassed, you don't really get that back. So I think he's going to have more in the tank this time around. I think this might be slightly more of a thinking fight, technical, but at times trading and inside fighting. But I'm really excited to see how this fight plays out.
Joseph Parker has never fought in front of such a big crowd. Could you see that this is going in Joshua's favour?
I think Joseph's the kind of person, he's very relaxed, he's excited, but you can't really prepare yourself for this. It's just going to hit you on the night. And I don't think that he's going to crumble, but it's just whether you can produce the performance and the game plan that you've been working on for 12 months under that moment of pressure. And that's why I always say in these fights, you can have a game plan, but once the bell goes and they start trading leather, anything can happen. And Joshua loves to fight. He's never in a bad fight. And Parker, I think, loves to fight too. So as technical as they talk it might be, I think it could explode into an all-out war. And it wouldn't surprise me if we had a Klitschko-style fight in this fight, because both guys have plenty of heart, both are fast, both can punch. And it's going to be an intriguing matchup.
We had a Klitschko-style fight weeks ago with Deontay Wilder. What do you think of that fight?
It's a great fight, really good. I mean, we learned some things about Wilder that we didn't know, and there was a lot there which we did know, which is he's erratic, he can be hurt, but he showed a lot of heart, like Anthony did, which is great. And I don't think that was ever in question, because he's a fighter, but it's great to see. And he showed it, and his stock rose in that fight. He looked like he was out again, at the end of the 7th, and the doctors saved him, gave him an extra 30 seconds, which was nice of them. But it's different style. When Anthony hurts you, I would be astonished if he didn't finish you. Like every fighter he's hurt, he's finished. And that goes the same in a Deontay Wilder fight. It's not a case of he's going to back up and take a breather. He's just going to non-stop throw punches at you, and he's very, very dangerous. So that was a great fight for Wilder, and that was his first proper fight of his career, and he deserves respect for the victory.
Everyone's talking already about a possible Joshua-Wilder fight without overlooking Joseph Parker. Wilder's not here today. He's not going to be here on Saturday. Do you think this might be like a strategy? Because you have two cash cows, and to drag that fight into 2019 or 20 might be...
Deontay Wilder is not a cash cow. He's making $2 million a fight. He's not selling out any arenas. The broadcasters aren't clambering for him. He's a very talented fighter who should be a cash cow, should be a superstar, but he's not. And for Joshua, it's not about being a cash cow. Joshua is stepping up to all these fights. Like, when you break it down, Deontay Wilder's had 40 fights. Okay, I think he's had like 8 defences of his world title, sort of 7. He's never fought a unification fight. He's never had a dangerous fight other than Ortiz. Joshua, this is his 5th world title defence and his 2nd unification. He's had 20 fights, and he's boxed Klitschko, he's boxed Dillian Whyte, he's boxed Joseph Parker. There's a chance that after 22 fights, Joshua could be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So he's moving. Like, in the old days, we would be milking Anthony Joshua. He'd be milking himself. We'd be going over to China, to Dubai, to America, boxing anywhere. But because of the demand from social media, because of the demand from the fans, and because of the type of person Anthony is, he wants to be in these fights now. So fans don't have to worry about him boxing Wilder. It will happen. But we have Joseph Parker to deal with, and this, for me, is the toughest fight out there for him right now.
What happens if he loses Saturday?
We'll work away on a rematch. It's a big blow. Obviously, any time an undefeated fighter loses, it's a big blow. But it can happen. It's heavyweight boxing. It can turn on a punch, and that's what makes it so exciting. But fingers crossed that won't happen, and he can be victorious on Saturday.
You have another heavyweight clash at the night, David Price and Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin is a drug cheat. He was tested positive twice, so why do you give him the chance to fight in front of such a big crowd?
Because he's mandatory for Anthony Joshua, and if we don't fight him, we will be stripped of the title. So I thought, let's see him in the flesh. Let's give him a challenge in David Price. Let's build that fight. Do I think Alexander Povetkin should still be boxing? Probably not. Is he mandatory? Yes. Is he clear to box from the federation? Yes. Is he ranked in every governing body? Yes. So I don't own boxing. I don't make the rules. But what I do know is he will be Joshua's. He has to win first. If he beats Price, he will be mandatory. So we either vacate the belt at some point or fight Alexander Povetkin at some point. So ethics sometimes go out the window in boxing.
That's true. What do you think about the Canelo fight?
I don't think it will happen on May the 5th. Everything's too crazy right now. Unless they get a steer from the commission, unless someone says, "Listen, we need to do this. We're going to give him a rap on the wrist. You've had your suspension for 2 weeks." But then you've got 3 weeks till the fight. There's no time. So I don't know. I know nothing about the situation. People going, "What do you think?" I don't know. Do I believe that it was contaminated meat? No. Do I think it's impossible that it was contaminated meat? No. But who knows? If he's cheated, he should never box again. If he was unlucky, I feel sorry for him because he'll always be called a drug cheat.
It's like a bad trend recently. You have Luis Ortiz, you have Canelo, you have Povetkin, a couple of others that were really drug cheats. Do you think the punishments are just not strict enough?
Yes, I do. And I think that governing bodies are now doing the right thing by enforcing voluntary testing and random testing. But if you do that and then someone fails a test and then you let him straight back in, what's the point? You might as well not have the program. So what I think needs to happen is I think that the commissions in America need to make sure that they employ random testing for their fighters. In the British Boxing Board of Control, we have random testing with UKAD. So all of its members in championship fights are randomly tested. It's the only way you're going to catch people. It's too advanced to fail a drugs test on the night. If a fighter failed a drugs test on the night, I'd almost think they were unlucky. There was a reason for it, because these guys who are cheating, they won't get caught. They'll get caught pre-camp. They won't get caught 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out. So it has to be 365. And the fighters have to have the fear of knowing they're going to be randomly tested. The problem is in America, it's individual commissions for different states. There's no universal body. If there was the United States Boxing Council, they could individually make sure that those commissions had random testing. But now we're relying on governing bodies like the WBA and WBC to do it. But there's so many fighters. You could sign up to the random testing program. You might not get tested in a year. You need to be tested every fight, And we employ VADA on the big fights. This one, Kell Brook against Errol Spence, Amir Khan against Phil LaGreco. We pay $30,000 to have 16-week VADA testing. because and it can't be 8 weeks. It's got to be 16 weeks, 12 minimum. But it costs $30,000, you know? And you can't do that in every fight. It's too much money. So there has to be some kind of system in place, because it's not running. It's not cycling. The aim of boxing is to knock your opponent unconscious. That's the reality. And to do it while you're cheating should be an illegal offence, not just a ban from boxing. It's criminal. But there needs to be a universal policy. If someone fails a test, forget the reasons. You're out. Canelo, if he was unlucky, he should know better of what he's putting in his body. You know, that's why they bring in chefs. I mean, these guys, they don't go to like Wendy's and have a burger. You know, they have chefs. They bring in their own food. So they have to be, when you're a professional and you've got everything at stake like that, you have to make sure you know what's going into your body.
Talking about something positive, I might not be positive for you, but has Dana Whyte already called you?
Not yet, no. He's supposed to be coming on Saturday. I think he's pulled out as well. So he probably saw the size of the reported offer and went, oh no, it's not that much. But we're up for talking to, you know, Josh said, go and talk to him, you know.
So there's no truth behind that 500 million?
No, that was from Gareth. I don't know. The numbers aren't obscene, like over 10 years, but, you know, we want to see the small print on that one, because it's like you have to fight Deontay Wilder 10 times.
But it's just in the boxing ring. There's no chance of Anthony Joshua going into the octagon.
The story was based on boxing, yeah. Some people thought it was based on MMA, but Joshua then says in an interview, yeah, I'd go into MMA. And then, of course, everyone goes, wow, Joshua's entering MMA. It's like, no, he's not. He's just said it. So he's happy with his boxing. He wants to achieve what he set out to achieve in his boxing, and then we'll see what happens.
So years down the line, there's no chance for Anthony Joshua going to the UFC?
Who knows? It's all about money. But Anthony has control of his career, and that's the most important thing to him. He controls his brand, he controls, you know, his strategy, his fights, everything. Our job is to maximise all the money around it, and we have a great relationship, and there's not many people that want to give him that control, because there's too many egos in the sport of boxing.
He's like the biggest star in boxing right now, but he still takes time for his fans. He was like over an hour yesterday at the workout. How do you keep him down to earth?
You don't have to try. He hasn't changed at all. Nothing's changed but the range, as they say. And he's the same person he was when I signed him, honestly. Like, yeah, sometimes, like, we had a little something on Tuesday where he was just a little bit sort of, and he called me yesterday and he's like, am I getting too big time? Like, am I being a pain?
He does?
Yeah, he does. I was like, no. He's like, but he's conscious about, he doesn't want to be that person, you know? So he's got a group of people around him.
But he doesn't play a role being the kind guy.
No, that's him. That's just him. But what I'm saying is sometimes, you know, there's a lot of pressure on him. So he might snap at someone. But afterwards, he'll know that he shouldn't have, and he'll like phone that person up at night and go, I shouldn't have done that, I'm really sorry. So he hasn't changed at all. And the stuff with the fans is just, the trainer said, don't do it. But he said, no, let me do it. I'm just going to do a few. And then like, he did everybody. But that's what makes him so popular.
So what do you think the fight goes on Saturday?
I thought it might go late, but actually seeing Anthony and seeing the edge in him and the look in his eye, I think he knocks out Parker within 6 rounds. Hope I'm right.
Good luck then.
Cheers.
Thanks for talking to Fighting Pride.
No problem.